This week on What Do You Got? Stuff from the future.
Stay tuned.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Tim Fulton.
I'm Randy Smith.
And this is What Do You Got? A little segment where we come to the table with a topic that the other guy doesn't know about. Danny turn. Andy, what do you got?
Stuff from the future.
It's a little vague.
It is a little vague. So I was thinking, what are some things that when you were a kid, you thought we would have in the future that we don't have? And what do we have today that you didn't think we'd have?
The best example, definitely thought teleportation would be real. When I was little, definitely thought everyone would be teleporting everywhere.
Teleportation.
Teleportation. 100%.
That would be really, that would eliminate a lot of things.
It would, but I had an argument with a friend of mine about this.
Okay.
For teleportation to work, you essentially would have to kill yourself and then remake yourself identically. So every time you use it, it would be like an old Andy dies and a new Andy gets reborn.
Why?
Because you can't literally physically transport matter. Assuming that
As far as you know, Dr. Fulton.
As far as I know.
As far as you know, sir.
So they would have to scan you on like a molecular level.
Unless they figure out a way to harness a black hole and aim it.
Okay, you know what?
You're talking about teleportation, sir. Sir.
Anyway, my friend, I was like, I don't think I'd be able to do it. I couldn't kill myself every single time. That'd be fucked up. And she was like, I would do it.
But what if it's just a rearrangement of particles?
It's not just like you have to disintegrate something and then remake it somewhere else, assuming that those particles are available.
But what if it just opens up the fourth dimension?
I hate you.
Like, what if it's literally just opening up a plane?
If that was a thing, 100%.
Yeah, that's... Why did you go to immediately, like, the shittiest version of teleportation?
Because that would be the most realistic version of teleportation.
You don't know that.
I do know
You're
that.
like, yeah, teleportation, except you have to die every time and get reborn. It's like, what kind of childhood did you have?
Listen.
What were you doing?
Of all the people to get dark on this show, I deserve a turn.
That's true. That's fair.
I deserve a turn. I'm
That's
like, let's
fair.
talk about rainbows and butterflies. And you're like, do you know butterflies kill thousands of people every year?
That's true. That's true.
Slip
Touche,
the
sir.
ropes.
Touche. But as a child,
But UFC
you're like,
fighters can
imagine,
defend themselves.
just imagine if a child walked up to you and was like, I really wish teleportation was real. You're like, yeah, me too, little boy. And he was like, I just would not like dying every time. And you're like, what? He's like, yeah, just a very quick, painful death and then reassimilation into another being with my memory implanted. And you're like, someone get his counselors. Counselors?
Who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
Okay,
Stop
fair.
reading. Give me your library card.
So going backwards, definitely thought teleportation would be real.
Okay.
It's not. Never in a million years could have predicted the smartphone.
Yeah, that's one that's weird because even like Star Trek with like the bloop, that's like a CB radio for space.
Yeah. I mean, like, even in all those shows, they have unique things for each and every instance. They don't have something that you take out of your pocket and it's just everything.
You know what's also is the size.
Yeah.
That's something that was really difficult for people to imagine things being is so small.
Yeah.
Like even in Star Wars, like I mean, even though holograms would be cool, it's kind of like a shittier version in a way.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
They have made crappy holograms so far.
Yeah. I'm not shitting on holograms or something like that. But yeah, smartphone was definitely one that they did not anticipate.
Yeah.
And because do you remember when the phones kept wanting to get smaller and smaller and smaller? And then all of a sudden they got a screen with like a high resolution HD for the time. And then they were like, oh, we got to make them bigger.
As big
And
as
then they went the
possibly
complete opposite way.
You know what they're doing now? They're making flip screens. Apparently they're kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Right now they're shitty. But one day that they're going to...
They're just trying to suck every bit of money out of every idea before they give us the next generation, which they already have loaded.
Well, that too. But, like, no, that way it can be smaller in your pocket. Wider, but smaller in your pocket, and then you flip it out.
That's true. That's true. Is that really like a world problem?
No, not
Size of-
even slightly.
Not even slightly, right?
No.
Okay.
We've like peaked. We need to like regress if anything else, but
Yeah.
in terms of that kind of shit,
Yeah. I think one thing that we thought we would have by now, which is kind of weird because it's kind of starting to happen, is like more space travel.
yeah.
Because when we were
It's
kids,
a funny topic.
it was like they were going, especially like when our parents were kids. That was like we got to go everywhere. We got to go to the moon. We got to go. Then it was Mars, but then somewhere after that, they were like, nobody cares about space anymore. Like, who cares about space? And they just stopped giving a shit. It literally took like a billionaire to be like, I like space a lot, and I'm gonna go up in Mars and put.
Crazy billionaire.
I'm gonna put some crypto in Mars.
I don't think he has an accent, buddy.
He's South African.
I don't think he has that kind of accent though, does he?
Yeah,
Does he?
he's from South Africa.
What
He
do
also has Asperger's,
Yeah.
so he's like probably just talks with a weird cadence to begin with.
Yeah.
But then now Jeff Bezos is like, I'm going to Mars too, bro.
Someone just beat him.
What?
Someone just went to space. A civilian just went to space and came back down. Someone beat Jeff Bezos by like a week and a half.
Did Jeff Bezos go to space?
Not yet.
Oh,
He's about to go. It was literally like a current day space race.
I would say rethink that there, Bezos. Who was the?
Branson. What's his name?
Oh, Richard Branson. Oh, the guy that owns Virgin Airlines
Yeah, he just
or
went to
Virgin
space.
Mobile,
He just
whatever.
went to space, came down, and said a whole bunch of like rich.
That guy's another rich. I thought you meant like.
much money.
I thought you meant some guy from like West Virginia
Oh no.
who's like, I'll go, I'll do it. Put me up there.
It was just sitting there, so I took it.
Yeah.
And I rode up, and the moon is pretty.
It is kind of neat though that like, I mean, scary at the same time that these guys have this much money.
Well, you know why they're doing it, right?
I know why Elon's doing it because he thinks it's cool.
No, they're setting up. They're going to sell tickets.
Yeah, I think Elon would do it even if there wasn't money to be made. 'cause
Oh
I
no,
think he thinks
no,
it's cool.
100% he would do it. But
He's a world treasure that we need to protect. Bezos is like, I need to send packages to people when we colonize Mars.
part of me thinks I'm on the fence about that one. Part of me loves Musk, and part of me thinks he's secretly a villain. Secretly doing like part of me can see him
He might be
being
an alien, but I don't know about a villain.
maybe an anti-hero.
He might be the guy that ends up inventing the thing that ends up fucking us up by accident.
I was just thinking, like, people are going to look at him and be like, why are you drilling to the center of the earth? And he'll just be like, it's good.
It's like
gonna help.
less traffic. Yeah. He's literally doing that out in California. So what's one thing? So you said the smartphones and the teleportation. What's one thing that I thought of something, which was the space travel. I thought was going to be more, but it's not. And something. Wait, you gave two that were.
No, smartphone was the thing I didn't want. Or I didn't want.
No, but what is something that you predicted that was here, or that you wanted to be that was here?
Ooh.
That's the hardest one.
That's the hardest one, because what could I predict? Oh, probably virtual reality.
Yeah.
It's not where I want it to be yet. It definitely has limitations. And it's funny because they're coming out with alternatives. Like,
Yeah.
instead of like 100% virtual reality, there's augmented reality.
Yeah.
Which is awesome and has like cool applications like in professional worlds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like a doctor could put it on and see like someone's skeletal or nervous system without having to like actually rip their entire body open.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of casualties while that's getting perfected, of animals
That's-
or people.
That's the darkness I was talking
Yes,
about.
it comes out.
Augmented reality. Yeah, a lot of casualties.
It never manifests itself exactly like it does in the movies. I'm sure there's some examples where it does, but there's always. It's like virtual reality in like movies back in the day. It was just like you're just standing in a room and everything's virtual reality. And we're not quite there yet.
You haven't seen it. The Orville. That's by Seth MacFarlane.
Okay.
It's basically his version of Star Trek,
Okay.
but it's funny.
Yeah. I've seen the commercials for it.
Yeah, I can't describe it. It's a good show. Everyone should watch the show. It has 2 seasons. I don't know if it got picked up again.
Okay.
But they have a room, and this doesn't spoil anything, but they have basically a virtual reality room but everything's actually interactive.
Yeah.
So like they go in there, it's just a blank room, and someone says, "I don't want to be on the streets in Paris," and then they're on the streets in Paris, and the room just becomes what looks like Paris, and they can sit at a table. See, like that's kind of like
Yeah.
that's not even virtual anymore. That's just I don't know how to.
See,
explain
now here's the weird thing. Like, you remember when The Matrix came out?
it. Yeah.
And how like that concept was like hard to like it was easy to imagine but hard to imagine too, because technology was like you really had to think about like this magical technology that could do that.
Yeah.
Right now we're getting closer and closer to that being not like it's gonna happen, but that being like more in person, realistic, like on that path where like now you can put a pair of goggles on. Yeah, you can tell things are pixelated, but it's like you feel like when you fall off a cliff on VR, you're like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
it feels real.
It screws with your senses, which is kind of the point.
Yeah, and it's more tangible. So it's like, at what point do you get to the point where you can't tell? Or what point do you get to the point where like once you cross that point, things get really weird?
Someone actually, I read a thing on Reddit once upon a time where someone was like, I don't want graphics to get any better. I don't want to get PTSD from playing Call of Duty. I just want to have some fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
But, yeah, exactly.
Imagine like being in a virtual reality trench hole and seeing your virtual reality friends get picked off.
Yeah, well, that's it. So when we were kids, what are we talking about? Like, say, 25 years ago, we're talking. So 25 years ago to now, things are a lot different.
A lot different.
Now, 25 years in the future from now. Now, I immediately think of movies and shows like The Matrix, Westworld,
Yeah.
shit like that, where like animatronics and this and that. But have you ever seen the movie Altered Carbon, or the show Altered Carbon?
I watched, I think, the first episode. I couldn't get into it. I don't know why. I feel like that should be right up my alley. I should probably give it another shot.
Yeah. So spoiler alert. It's a show. Very quick. It's about basically you can transfer your consciousness onto a USB stick that is in the back of your neck, and instead of dying, you basically just the body lasts for how long it lasts, and then you transfer that to a new body. And rich people get whatever they want, and poor people, if you get accidentally killed or something, you just get transferred to whatever they have left. So like a 6-year-old girl could get put into an 80-year-old woman's body. And like, but when you think about something like that, if we got to the point where you could download your brain and you could put it into something else that's living.
I don't know. That's going to have to be a big moral question mark at some point. I mean,
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is like, how far off is something like that?
not that far off.
It's 25 years ago, we would be like, that's impossible. Not impossible, but it's like we're not gonna. But now it's like, all right, like we might be able to do that at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd be able to do that before we would have true artificial intelligence.
But then here's the thing, though: if you can transfer your brain to somebody else's body, people become just another piece of equipment. Because if everyone can transfer their brain, everyone has a body that went with that brain when they're born.
Yeah.
So where do you get the extra spare bodies from? That's
You harvest them.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, what I understand, like the show, but that was the one thing they might have explained in the show. But that was one of the things I was confused about. Was like everyone that's born has a brain. So where do you get these extra?
I don't know. Could be test tube babies, like literally growing specimen, but growing human specimen for this purpose.
Yeah, and then at the same time, though, like what? How do you dictate murder then? Because as long as you don't kill that part.
Going in such.
I'm just thinking, like, as long as you don't kill that part of the person, it's basically just destruction of property at that point.
In 25 years, I think Breyer's ice cream is going to make a comeback.
You could go into somebody that's 5'10". You could.
A whole 2.5 inches.
Hey, slowly work you, dude. You would be walking around grabbing railings if you went into like a 6'7" body. You'd be so not used to that.
That would be true. That would be interesting, just to be in like a tall person's body for one day. Just for a day.
Yeah. What if you could just go to the car shop or the body shop, and just Yeah, give me LeBron today. I want to be LeBron James and just like rent him
I want raggedy toes.
for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be weird. I don't even know how else to phrase that. That would be weird.
That would be really weird because if that was the case, then how, like, you know, it would get really fucking weird if you could just, if in the future it was really cheap and easy to alter what you look like. The definition and the thought of like what's beautiful would get real fucking weird
It would
because
get
everyone could just be
whatever they want.
whatever they wanted. So
It'd
then
be
it,
like remodeling your home, except you're just like except
yeah, but like, you know,
Selling
those
it.
weird people that try to look like Kim K and shit like that. Like if everyone just looked like Kim K, you'd be like, I don't want, that's boring.
yeah.
Like I don't want.
Yeah.
So then you would be like, what like you know what I mean? Like beauty would get
I
real
like that
weird.
Kathy Griffin look.
Oh. I don't know if we're going that far back,
But I see your point.
right?
I see your point.
It would become so, because it's not like the part of that whole thing is like it's a rarity.
Yeah.
It's a rarity. Like if that combination of certain things that make somebody just weirdly like attractive or like sought after by everyone. And if everyone just looked like that, you'd be like, it's normal. It's like super average now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That would be
You're
weird.
kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going back to a happier, nicer one.
Teleporting and dying every time you do it?
No, so you know how the X-Men had the war room, and it would turn into like
Yes.
I'm
That was virtual reality.
basically.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to virtual
You go into
reality.
VR. You're just a giant child. Like, I want to play video games into the video game.
That is exactly where I was going, because you know, like those arcades that they have, where like it's like giant, like those.
Yeah. Like paintball room type thing.
Except that they'll have one of those rooms, and it'll turn into what you want it to be.
I figured out how we solved the obesity problem in America.
Pokemon Go 2.0.
No. You just have the VR, but think about how much running there are in most video games.
Oh my god.
But like you are in the room and you have to do all the running. Just level the playing field, nerds.
Just level up the playing field, nerds.
Yeah.
See what you did
Dude, they were like just super nerds with just shredded because they got to run like 20 miles a day in the game.
You know what's funny? Not athletic video games, but yeah, athletic video games are sometimes the most fun.
What do you mean?
DDR, Dance Dance Revolution. Remember
Okay.
that shit?
Yeah, like
Fucking
20 years ago.
shut up.
Okay.
Played that shit nonstop.
That's not surprising. Go ahead. Sorry, it was there. I had to pick it. Slow hanging fruit.
No, I feel like this is gonna get worse before it gets better.
Okay. What's the next one?
We Fit.
I never played that, but I like the fact that was a thing.
So it was just a standing board, and there was like different games. So like a lot of them were just like workouts. So like you just like
Yeah.
do whatever on it. You do push-ups on it, and like it recorded you. But they had some cool ones where like it would realize where you are, and it would throw soccer balls at your face through the screen.
And you'd have to duck and
you had
dive.
to tilt back and forth. That was my fucking.
You know what?
favorite.
I lied. I actually had to do that in physical therapy one year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They made me like do the balancing thing on
Maybe
that.
I'll make my dad do that.
That's a good idea.
And then other ones I haven't tried. They came out with like, and people do this. They came out with this like wheel, and it's supposed to be a fitness thing. So like you're supposed to stand up, hold this wheel, for the newest Wii. Notice that they're all like Wii games.
Yeah.
The Switch, and you're supposed to like turn it when you want to do something. So it's arm strength.
Yeah.
Someone played like the entire Legend of Zelda using just that.
Oh,
They, like,
wow.
Found a way to like do it, but like they always make these things, and they always they're the coolest things ever, but they never really quite catch on as like being fun or popular.
Yeah. Well, the VR has those things that you gotta remember, that like thing where you have to
Oh,
play the
yeah, the
beats,
lightsabers.
the lightsaber things.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
But then like that Ready Player One shit where you have like that hazmat suit on, or that whatever suit, and you got the buy whatever treadmill where like you can run in any direction, and that way you just have to run through the game and
That's
all
what
that
you
stuff.
want. That's what you want.
Yeah, and it's that shit would be dope. But then again, like something like that doesn't solve the problem, because then like I said, people in video games, like they spend all day in the video game.
Yeah, they do.
Gets trippy after a while, because you wouldn't really give a shit if you had like a shitty job as long as you could go in that world and play. And then now like gaming would be, and like in that movie is like the main source of income. Like getting
like-
shit in the game.
I kind of like flipped it on its head.
Yeah, like you have to get shit in the game and then you sell that for real money.
Yeah. I mean, people already do that, but not to that degree.
Not to that degree.
Not nearly that degree.
Do you know what I liked about that game
Movie?
or that movie?
What?
Was that everything was on hardcore mode. If you died, you lost all your shit.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's fucked
It's
up.
cool, but you'd have like the battle royales and like everyone would be killing each other, but like if you died, you lost everything.
So who would like participate in that?
Everybody.
Damn.
That's how you get there.
That's how you get there.
Yeah. But I don't know.
All right.
That's
Any
it.
other last thoughts?
No,
What else
that's
you
it.
wanna
I'm
see?
good.
You're
I'm done.
All right, guys. What did you think when you were a kid would be around in the future that is around, is not around, and what would you expect to see in 25 years? Let us know in the comment section down below, and we will catch you guys next time.
I thought it was a pretty goddamn good topic.
It sucked.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day.